All right, question number 3. Is Dan Gilbert daring LeBron to leave? That ring ceremony seems like so long ago. LeBron has another year on his deal, then can leave Cleveland again if he wants to. Doesn't seem like Gilbert is worried about it, Dave. But it kind of feels like he's kind of saying, go ahead and do it.
That would be a little sinister, right? To suggest that there's something beneath the surface where he's trying to push LeBron out the door. Perhaps, though, if he was, let's say he doesn't want to offer LeBron the supermax of $209 million.
Right.
He can just try to sabotage in the meantime, and then LeBron leaves, and I didn't have to make that decision.
Right.
I don't really know if that's what's going on here. I think this could just be ineptitude.
Right.
And ineptitude looks bad. It looks so bad that makes you wonder, oh, is this intentional?
See, I don't think it's daring him to leave like, I want you out. I think it's the other kind of daring him to leave like, you're not going anywhere. What do you mean? Come on. You know you're here for life now. Okay, you can cut the theatrics. I feel like he's got that kind of confidence when people say, hey, man, what are you doing? This is, you're going to lose the guy. Like, nah, he's not leaving. He's not going anywhere. He's home.
Right, which I think would be a severe miscalculation.
Oh, wow.
LeBron sets up his contracts to give himself options.
Pretty much.
And he's going to have options in the summer of 2018. There's teams that have already, earmarked cap space to be able to make a run at him. And if all he's seen in the final 12 months of his tenure with the franchise is chaos, is embarrassment, is no sense of a plan, again, that's what I have been told that kind of LeBron's camp views this offseason thus far, he would be better served over the final part of his career to leave. But that's a but. There's still, the next season to try to get back on track.
Bonus question before we go to break. If he left, I'm not saying he's leaving, but let's say he left. You have to put your money on going to the West or staying in the East. Which one will you do?
Going to the West.
Really?
I think he would come to Los Angeles to play for the Lakers.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, perhaps that team in the East, maybe the Knicks all of a sudden emerge as a contender. I mean, it's not absurd to think. And, of course, we know the imbalance.
All I hear, what's that, 9 million voices all screaming at the same time in New York. Let it be. We have to take another commercial break. But first, let's look at this distant replay from 2010, courtesy of the great Latavius Williams. Ooh, I got Latavius Williams' stories. Okay, so he was the guy that went straight to the D-League and got drafted straight up to the D-League. Second round pick by OKC. He was athletic to all get out, man. A rebounding machine. Had a little bit of a Bubba Gump thing going on.
Stop me from talking.
Okay, I don't know.
You can pick it up now.
Can I say that?
Appearance-wise?
Appearance-wise.
Yeah.
Some other ways as well. Live from right here in L.A. Don't miss it. And also, the Summer League is back.
Yeah.
Bucks and Cavs, 6:30 on ESPN2. Then Clippers take on Lonzo Ball and the Lakers at 8:30. And then Suns and Kings at 10:30. And speaking of Summer League, well, Rachel Nichols is there right now. She'll be doing jump specials from Vegas this weekend, starting tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. The least you guys could have done was Photoshop an Elvis wig on her or something like that. She's in Vegas.
She's got that cool leather jacket on.
Yeah, she does have the leather jacket. She's killing with that. All right, make debuts. Let's stick with Summer League and Lonzo Ball's debut. Dave, are you excited for this?
Absolutely. I'm going to be driving out to Vegas. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately, but I'll be checking Twitter while I'm on the road.
I'm just excited to see what LeVar is going to do. That's all I really care about. Tomorrow I'll see Lonzo Ball live. Yeah. Today is all about LeVar.
Okay.
Miss Bedhead. Gordon Hayward hasn't signed his Celtics contract yet, but he's found a new barber. Dave, are you relieved he won't be reverting back to this look?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Oh, man.
I was curious if you'd do a totally new look, being the new city, but it's very important to find a barber on the road.
Oh, man.
My beard needs trimming.
You don't have one here, an LA guy?
I got a spot.
Hey, loyalty. Yesterday there were reports that the clock has started ticking on Giannis' exit from the Bucks. Giannis squashed those rumors last night with his huge hand saying, "I've got loyalty in my DNA." Dave, will the Greek Freak regret tweeting this?
Well, yeah, of course he will.
Yeah,
First
they
of all,
all do, right?
Is that a Drake lyric? First of all, beyond that, March 21st, 2016, Kevin Durant says Oklahoma City is home. July 4th goes to Golden State. I think Old Take's exposed Twitter account is just waiting to pounce.
Freezing cold takes. Miss humility. Kevin Durant joked on his YouTube page that he's the one who got Dion Waiters and Andre Robertson their new contract. Is it nice having KD back on social media in full effect?
Oh, it's wonderful. And he joins a great lineage in terms of guys like Steve Nash and LeBron James, who just cashed out checks to other players. That's their true level of greatness when guys get paid.
In the NFL, like the quarterback gives like watches to his O-line because they allow him to be great. I feel like people should give Steve Nash and LeBron and all these guys watches as well. Make age gaps. 40-year-old Vince Carter just signed a one-year deal with the Kings. His new point guard, De'Aaron Fox, was born just 6 months prior to Vince's draft day.
That's great.
Dave, how many more seasons does Vince have in him?
This could be it. This could be it. But he's making $8 million. Good for him. And beyond that, the Kings are actually doing things the right way.
Yes, they've had a great offseason. Let me just say this about Vince Carter. You don't make $8 million in the last year of your career, right? That means like there's still
could be more to come.
There's more to come. Missed conferences. This morning, Zach Lowe reported that Western Conference teams and front office execs are pushing for playoff seedings 1 through 16, regardless of conference. Surprise, surprise. Dave, are you in favor of this?
Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. Quit your whining. The NBA's been around 75 years. We haven't switched up conferences before. Stop poaching from the East if that's too hard for you to do it. Get out of here.
Or get a job in New York or Cleveland or somewhere right there where they're looking. All right, let's go to At the Buzzer. Pistons have announced the rights to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and the Nets are interested. Dave, do you like the potential pairing of D'Angelo Russell and KCP?
I think there's some potential there. I think Russell has a lot of things to work on regardless of who his teammates are in terms of working on his body and maturity and consistency. Caldwell-Pope's a nice player. There's also a report out there that the Lakers might try to offer him a balloon one-year deal and try to get him out in L.A.
No takers for that so far. You know, I'm thinking someone's got to be there. Jamal Crawford, perhaps, right?
There you go.
Then he doesn't have to sell his house.
He won't go to Cleveland.
Yeah, and that too. Hey, you know what? Thanks, Dave. We're back next week. Check out Rachel's Summer League show tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to be on the road.
Absolutely.
You're going to get
Vegas in like an hour.
You're going to be on the road now or you're going to be in Vegas an hour?
No, driving in an hour.
I'm about to say, the cops, man, they're watching that road, man.
That's right. Thanks to me.
Yeah, no problem. Look, we have to fill this little space here. Hey, watch this. All right, Dave. Yesterday, we showed you some bad Summer League. How about the good stuff from our guy, Donovan Mitchell here?
Look at this move.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a Byron Russell, Tatum kind of got the pushed off from the leg, the
little
body.
contact, but
I like the pass, though.
It was a great pass, but I like that Jason Tatum had his welcome to the NBA moment. You know, because he's been having a great Summer League.
Yeah.
But,
A little too big for his britches, the game winner, a couple of yoking on some guys.
Yeah, you feel good. You get something that just brings you back down to earth. Welcome to The Jump. I'm Amino Hassan. I'm in for Rachel Nichols. If you have such a hankering for her, she'll be on later at 8 Eastern on The Jump Special tonight, live from Summer League. But for right now, I'm joined by Dave McMenamin, my guy, the Syracuse guy. So, Dave, summertime, and the living is easy. That's right. My favorite part of the NBA calendar is here. Summer League. Yay. It's a time of great optimism as everyone is reveling in the new toys they have, be it a big trade acquisition or a blockbuster free agent signing or that hot new draft pick. That's right. Summer really belongs to that guy because that's the guy we've never seen before in an NBA setting, and that's the guy we get to see on the floor right now. Over the years, the Las Vegas Summer League has grown immensely in popularity because of the anticipation of seeing the future stars of the NBA go at it. Who could forget 2014's Andrew Wiggins versus Jabari Parker, a game that packed Cox Pavilion? It's also a place where we see diamonds in the rough announce themselves, like in 2010 when a relative unknown named Jeremy Lin went toe-to-toe with the #1 overall pick, John Wall. But regardless of where a player is drafted, a strong word of caution for everyone who wants to be whisked away by a strong showing or distraught by a tough summer. It's only Summer League. It's time for experimentation. It's a time not just for players, but also by coaches, many of whom are calling the shots as head coaches for the first time in their careers. And while you might get excited by Josh Selby averaging 25 points per game on 56% shooting and like 64% by three, by the way, that has no bearing on his NBA career. He didn't have much of one. And before you kick yourself that Draymond Green averaged 10 points a game on 30% shooting, remember that he did that playing a role that, at the time, he wasn't able to do with the real Golden State Warriors. But he could try in Vegas. And that role was basically the role he grew into today as a perennial All-Star and All-NBA player. And by the way, Golden State wasn't just a champ this year. They were also Summer League champs the year he averaged 10 points a game. So when you're frustrated watching a first-round pick on your favorite team average, 11 points per game on 39% shooting, don't fret. He might end up getting traded for a guy who's getting traded for a guy whose bird rights get renounced so that you can reacquire that former first-round pick by presenting a $71 million offer sheet. Dave, That's called a Jack Sigma right there. A little pivot action.
Yeah, I like it.
Knicks offer $71 million, 4 years, trade kicker, player option, pretty much everything except the max deal for Tim Hardaway Jr. How surprised were you by that?
Shocked, I guess, because they had him, of course, part of the franchise before. They trade him to get the number 19 pick they used on Jerry and Grant. Grant only sticks around a year,
right?
And now he comes back. And I think I was trying to think of a similar circumstance that we've seen. I had to go outside sports. This is Steve Jobs getting fired by Apple, coming back years later with more power, more money, more clout. And that's what we're seeing out of Tim Hardaway right now. It's no offense to what he is as a player. Once the Hawks got rid of Kyle Korver last year, he averaged close to 18 points per game, right around 40% shooting from three. He's athletic. He was in the dunk contest. That we forget about that. And shooting is a premium in today's NBA, but I don't know if everybody's in for that money.
You know, it's weird. The first thing that everyone brought up was he's making more on this contract than his father, who probably should be a Hall of Famer, had made in his entire career. And it's not like his father played in the 50s. Tim Hardaway Sr. played at a time where big contracts were starting to come about. Remember, he played Alonzo Mourning and made $105 million on his Miami Heat.
He had a signature Nike shoe.
He had a signature Nike shoe. He had the UTEP two-step. Yeah. Everyone was doing that little crossover. And so for Tim Hardaway Jr. to make this much money just on this deal, I think it took people's breath away, especially because we thought this year, oh, now sanity has prevailed, right? Like, oh,
the cap came down from the projections.
Yeah, everyone's like, look, that was madness of last year from the big jump. Now this is reality. Teams are going to be more frugal again. And so for the Knicks to do that, I mean, I don't necessarily know why. I just don't understand what was the thirst for that particular guy.
It seemed like Atlanta at least put it out there that that was their priority to try to retain him. So I guess you need to get up to a certain number to make it happen. But we have seen some of these similar contracts around the league the last couple of years. Most of them haven't worked out though. In this range, Crabbe, you'd say is overpaid. Biyombo, what's he doing for Orlando? Deng obviously has been an albatross for the Lakers. Same thing with Noah. Now Bazemore, that's the one guy on that list. You're like, okay, that might be fair market value, and he's younger and ascending, right? And so maybe that's the length. Tim Hardaway Jr. is only 25 years old.
He's only 25 years old. Great shooter, defensively. And for me, that's the difference between him and Bazemore. Bazemore is a guy that is an improving offensive player, but defensively he's there. I think Tim Hardaway is a good offensive player, but the other side, not much improvement. All right, we got more NBA moves to discuss. The Celtics are trading Avery Bradley, say it ain't so, and a second-round pick to the Pistons for forward Marcus Morris in a deal to create salary cap space to sign Gordon Hayward to that 4-year, $128 million maximum contract. Here's a look at the moves Boston has made to create cap space for Hayward. You got the trade, you got the renouncing of all those free agents, and the waiver of Tyler Zeller. Dave, have they given up too much in their pursuit of Gordon Hayward?
Yeah, I think yes. Because I'm a big Avery Bradley guy, and not just because of who he is as a person. And obviously, everyone remembers him consoling Isaiah Thomas on the bench during the playoffs this year after Isaiah's sister tragically passed away. But Kyrie Irving's gone on record and said, Avery Bradley guards me better than any other player in the league. And if you are making whatever moves you are this offseason just to catch the Cavs, why give up a guy like that? Why give up a guy like that who had a very strong Eastern Conference Finals when he was thrust into a bigger role because of Isaiah's injury? And he's one of the best perimeter players, defensive players in the league.
Sure. I mean, I'm with you on that. The thing I try to look at is he's in a contract year. How much is Avery Bradley going to cost the Celtics a year from now? And when you say, look, Marcus Smart isn't as good as he is, but he kind of does the things that we need from that position, right? The offense was nice, but we're moving to a different era of Celtics basketball where I don't need that much offense from my point guard. I just need you to go out there and be a pest and lock up guys. And Marcus Smart, being a bigger player, gives you a little bit more latitude in terms of the types of guys that he can defend. I'm not mad at this deal. We knew that somebody had to go for this to happen. And at the end of the day, it comes down to, were you really going to say no to Gordon Hayward because you wanted to keep Avery Bradley?
But it seemed like Crowder was the guy his game was kind of atrophying a bit. And they ended up keeping him versus Bradley. And also, you think about offensively, defense is a huge part of the game. But when teams double and triple team Isaiah Thomas in late game situations in the playoffs, Bradley's a guy who's an excellent catch-and-shoot player, or very proficient.
Absolutely, yes.
Marcus Smart isn't. And obviously he had a great game in the playoffs.
Yeah, the
Cavs,
one.
Where he had 7 or 8 threes, but that's not who he is.
Right.
Perhaps he can become that, but I would have, if I'm the Celtics, that'd be the one guy I would want to keep in the core, and I'd have an easier time getting rid of Smart or Crowder.
The Jay Crowder deal, very affordable.
Yeah.
And it's on the books for a couple of years. They've got a bunch of wings.
Right.
Maybe they can flip him later on for something else.
For sure.
Just keep it moving. You know how he loves those assets.
Yes, he does.
Let's talk about the champs, free agency, because they have not been quiet. Looking at the Warriors' moves here, they re-signed their 2 MVPs. Damn, that sounds disgusting to say. And also made sure to bring back key contributors in Iguodala, Livingston, and David West. On top of that, they added more shooters by signing Nick Young and Omri Caspi. Dave, how much better has Golden State gotten this offseason?
Indescribably better? I mean, because, first of all, anytime you're convincing the second-best player in the world to take a $9 million pay cut, you're doing something right. At the same time, you're re-signing a guy who's won 2 MVPs.
Right.
At the same time, the pay cut has allowed you to bring back, a guy who's your best bench player and an emotional leader in Andre Iguodala, another really good bench player in Sean Livingston, and now, by getting guys like Caspi and Nick Young, Livingston and Iguodala, who are not super old, but getting up there a little bit, you can preserve them during the regular season and give bigger minutes to Swaggy.
You know what's funny about Nick Young? He's the type of guy that, how many teams are there in the league? 30 teams, 29 other teams.
Yeah.
They signed that guy. Was like, oh, why are we signing that guy? He's a troublemaker. He goes on the Warriors like, it's not fair.
Right.
They keep getting richer. Because the idea is that when you're that good, you know, we've seen this in San Antonio a lot, right?
Yeah.
That they manage to get the best out of you, and all the negatives can be hidden because they have enough people to hide it there. Nick Young, as you know, last year in L.A., kind of had a little bit of a spiritual awakening, realizing, look, I'm this close to playing in China.
Yeah.
I need to get my act together. So he's a lot better defensively, a lot more locked in. He's always going to be who he is offensively, and I'm of the belief that you don't want to take that away from him. You don't want him thinking out there. So let him go out there in his 15 minutes, get buckets.
Yeah.
It's not happening. You pull him, you sit him down.
Yeah, have a little Drew League to his game. That's where he thrives the most. And, he did that under Luke Walton.
Right.
And certainly the Warriors, I think, took note of that, with the connection to Luke Walton. And they see what he's capable of.
Yeah, by the way, one of the best catch-and-shoot players last year. Just he's got to catch and shoot, not dribble it. All right, we need to take a quick break. But coming up next, we'll examine the state of the land after 1 week of off-season moves, or lack thereof. This is The Jump.